Hello and welcome. Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining in. If you can hear me loud and clear, please tell me, yes, I can hear you, so I know that I'm not talking to myself this evening. Somebody can hear me loud and clear. Please tell me, yes, I can. So I know that I'm not talking to myself this evening. If you can hear me, please type, yes, I can, in the comment section, so I know that I am not talking to myself this evening. Good evening and welcome everybody to this live stream. Good evening. Does this mean that nobody can hear me? That would be very worrisome. Okay, thank you. Thank you for confirming that you can hear me. Thank you for confirming that you can hear me. Excuse me. So, as we come on, please take a minute to tell us your name and where you are reaching us from, so that we know if we have people reaching us from Gombe and the other ends of Nigeria that are in the chat room. Is it only Monica that can hear me? I hope it's not only one person that can hear me. Anyway, it's proof that my mics are working well. If somebody can confirm that they can hear me, it's proof that my mics are working well. If somebody can hear me. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Gianyola. It's proof that people can hear me. So once again, I say welcome and thank you for joining this evening. We are going to be having a very informative class. We're going to be talking about taxes for small businesses. And most small businesses don't pay tax. And the basic reason is the tax is for the benefit of the government. The tax is not for their benefit. Well, is that exactly so? Is that exactly the truth? Are the taxes for the government? Okay, before I go into that, let me just say a bit about myself. So my name is Adebinkwe Arinola. I'm a very intelligent, streetwise business lawyer. I know how to translate what is in the legal books onto the streets of Lagos, Nigeria. I'm the principal of Dinkwe Shomi and Associates. I have been a lawyer for the past 18 years and have worked in both the private and the public sectors. I've worked in the public sector in different institutions. I've worked in the private sector in different institutions. And in the process, I've worked with some of Nigeria's very big names and numerous heads of parastatals. And in the process of my working with them, I've come to understand how the minds of the rich and the influential work. There are some things that my colleagues, get angry about. Well, maybe because I've worked along these spaces with these different people, I don't get angry over those things at all. I've helped over 100 small businesses make smart business decisions that help them grow and remain profitable. Smart business decisions. It's not just about business decisions. Okay, this is the law. Smart ones. Considering their situation, considering their present location, because just like human beings are in phases, businesses are also in stages. So I've helped them, over 100, make those decisions. In fact, some of those that I helped, the influence of what I was able to share with them helped them survive COVID-19 without running into losses and without having to borrow from anybody. It's about smart business decisions. I've worked in the health sector, I've worked in the media, social media, new media, old media, I've worked there. I've worked in entertainment, I've worked in real estate, I've worked with financial advisory services. And I am a mother of 2 soldiers. I like to call my boys my soldiers. So I'm a mother of 2 soldiers. So the first thing is, what are taxes? What are taxes? Taxes are, in layman's terms, right? Between me and you, let's say the truth. Taxes are the government penalizing the rich to take care of the poor. That's basically what taxes are. Taxes are the government penalizing the rich to take care of the poor. I'll tell you why. The people who live in rural areas, they pay some sort of taxes, but it's far less than the people who live in developed areas. Why is it less? It's housing, it's the same services, but what they pay is less. Why is it less? As I go on explaining some taxes, you understand how that it is penalizing the rich, penalizing those who make money at the expense of those who don't. If you want to register your car, and sometimes we feel, oh, I don't want to pay taxes, I don't pay taxes. You actually pay taxes, but it's not called taxes. For example, if you buy a car and you want to register it, that thing you're going to pay is taxes to the government. You're going to pay them for you having a car. Now, here's the catch. If you want to register a car, say a Toyota Camry 2010 and a Toyota Camry 2020, the price you're going to pay is different. Why? Because you're going to pay for the fact that you can afford a newer model. That's basically what it is. You'll be paying the government, excuse me, because you can afford a newer model. So what is that? So taxes basically understand, the government say, okay, you have risen small, bring some of that in your hand. Let's use to help those that have no reason. When those ones to rise, we take from them to help the other sets. That's how taxes are all over the world. Taxes are the rich paying for services for the poor. That's basically what taxes are. And in charging taxes, a lot of factors are considered. A lot of factors are considered. Of course, the government needs the money to run its system, and the system of government demands that the government provides certain amenities for people. But think about it. As a rich person, you can provide your own security. You can provide backup for a lot of things the government does for you. So do you really need the government to do it? So if there's pressure to provide those services, who is it for? Is it not for the poor and underprivileged? That's why I say that taxes are government charging the rich to take care of the poor. That's why big business owners don't like to pay taxes. We'll get into that in a bit. They don't like to pay taxes. And how will they go about it? So we go straight into your taxes. First, what we're going to do is bare-faced discussion of what your taxes are. The first one I'm going to talk about is payee, pay as you earn. Does anybody here pay as you earn? Let me know in the comment section. If you pay as you earn, and if you have an understanding of what pay as you earn is, let me know. Because pay as you earn is as basic as it can get. It's called payee and it's pay as you earn. Now, you see that name alone is indicative of the fact that it is as you earn that as you pay. You don't just pay. You pay based on what you earn. It is according to your earning that the government will charge you. So for payee, who pays payee? Every employee, pay as you earn. As long as you earn, you're under obligation to pay. As long as you earn a salary. Of course, there are people who are exempt from payee, which is the list I sent to you. People who earn below minimum wage. There are a few people who are exempt from paying payee. But it is presumed that every employee will pay payee. Who do you pay to? You pay to the state government. The state government, that is one tax that they enjoy and they're not willing to share anyway, because there are complaints that the federal government collects all the tax and the state government doesn't get anything. So the state government collects payee. However, there are still some tax that is the federal government that collects it. For example, diplomats who serve outside the country, they are civil servants. A lot of people who work in Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they are civil servants, and their taxes are paid to the federal government. They are paid to the Federal Reserve account. So some people pay, very few, a small sector of the society. Another people that pay taxes to federal government are military officers. Military officers also pay their own taxes to the federal government. Police officers also pay their taxes to the federal government. When is payee due? Paid 10th of each succeeding month. So the employer, because it is the employer that is supposed to remit, it is deducted directly from the salary. So the employer is supposed to remit it to the government. So it's presumed that you are paid towards the end of the month, and then the employer collects that pay and remits to the state where that employee lives and works. That is how payee is paid. Now, how is payee paid? Payee is prorated. You see why I say it is charging the rich to take care of the poor. Payee is prorated. Now, the higher you earn, the more your payee. So this is where we are going to use a calculator. Unfortunately, my calculator is not coming up here. I wonder what the issue is. Let me see if it will come up now. Let me see if I can bring my calculator up. Let me see if this calculator will come up. Okay, you can see my calculator now. Then why is this other file not coming up? So let's assume now payee is calculated in, I told you I'll calculate it, you are going to see it. Let's assume that because it's in tranches from 30,000 to 300,000, you pay 7% of your taxes. The next 300,000, you pay 11%. Can you understand? Do you see how it's done? The first 300,000 of your, so if you earn 600,000, you pay 7% on 300,000. Then you will pay 11% on the subsequent 300,000. Can you see that the government charges you, penalized for your ability to make more money? That's how taxes run. So let me show you this. This is my calculator here. So let's assume you earn 300,000. 300, right? And your tax is 7%. Multiply by 7%. Sorry. Cancel. 300 times. What is wrong with this thing? Okay, 300. So 300 times. It's supposed to be times 7 equals 0. Okay, so let me do it here. 300 times 7, right? divided by 100 equals. So if your salary is 300,000, how much tax are you paying? Can somebody type for me in the comment section? How much tax can you see that you're paying? Can somebody type for me in the comment section? So there's no deceiving you of your taxes. If your salary is 300,000, this is your tax. It's loud and clear right here on the screen for you to see. And if you enter, so a lot of taxes, as you will see, are in brackets. They are in brackets. If you are in the lower bracket, you are charged this amount. If you move into the higher bracket, you are charged a different amount. That's why it's not easy off the top of anybody's head to tell you what your tax is, because imagine somebody who earns 750,000. You first of all charge 7% on 300. You charge 11 on 300. Then you now prorate the one for the 150 and then add together. That's what your tax is going to be, right? So that's what you get to. That's what you get to. That's what you get to pay if you are calculating payee and if you are paying your payee taxes. That's where your payee stands. I told you I'm going to calculate it for you. So here we are calculating it as it should be. The next tax that we're going to calculate is company's income tax. I don't know why this slide is not showing. I don't know why my slides are not showing. The next slide we're going to calculate is company's income tax. Let me see something about my laptop. No. The next tax we're going to calculate is company's income tax. So, who pays company's income tax? You know, we said payee is paid by every employee. Company's income tax is paid by every employer. Now, the thing with company's income tax is that it is ideally the eyes of the government for company's income tax is focused on big companies. It is focused on companies who earn a lot. I will tell you why. The major figures that you see around for company's income tax are, okay, if you earn between 25 million, if your profit is different from income. But but if your profit is between 25 million and 100 million, your tax, the tax you're going to pay on that profit is 20% of that amount. And if your profit is over 100 million, you pay 30%. Can you see again that the more you earn, the more you pay? Basically, most of the time, that's how taxes are calculated. Even in a lot of other taxes that we're not going to be talking about here today, that's how they're calculated. But now, if your income is less than 25 million, in the eyes of the government, you are a small company. Of course, you and I know that majority of companies in Nigeria today, that's why we are called SMEs. That's why we are called SMEs. Majority of them are below the 25 million mark. So how are they calculated? Now, some of the things you need to consider here, I'm not going to go in depth because most of us are small companies. First of all, and then 6 months after, that's when they begin to expect anything from you. However, excuse me, I have a bit of a cold. There are laws that safeguard a company that is under 4 years from paying taxes. Okay. I suspect my network went out. Please, if you can hear me again, let me know. If you can hear me again, let me know. If you can hear me again, please let me know. Okay, so let's go on. The company's income tax is charged on big companies. Smaller companies, the profit is what they charge big companies. Smaller companies, they charge you on income. But in the first 4 years, what you're charged is very negligible. So the older the company is, right, the more they assume that whether you say you are making profit or not, because they know that Nigerians, we can say we are making profits and then we're not making anything. Is anybody there that can hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me. So that I know that I'm not talking to myself. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So, like I was saying about companies' income tax, there are a lot of things that are considered before they charge you. There are a lot of deductibles. We will get there. We will get there. That's when I'm going to be talking about how to minimize your taxes. We will get there. There are a lot of deductibles. And if the company is small, they assume that, okay, maybe we are not making profit or you are not making profit at all. So you are charged on income. If you are charged on income, then a smaller amount is charged for you. For the first 4 years, most companies are exempt from profit, from tax on profit. Now, if you run an agricultural business, whether you're making profit or not, you are exempt from companies' income tax for the first 4 years. There are lots of other companies that are exempt. Now, because of how complex companies' income tax is, I will, you know, excuse me, I will not go into full calculation because it can be complex for you. But for you to also know that it is prorated and it is paid annually, but it is not paid at the end of the year. The government expects, right, that at the end of every year, you will get your tax people to calculate your tax liability, your annual returns. So your annual returns are the balance sheet of your profits and your losses, everything you've made, everything you spent as a business, and then everything you also earned that came in for you as a business. That is your profit and loss account. That's the primary thing that is of interest. That is the primary thing that is of interest in your annual returns. Now, your profit and loss account is what will be used to calculate your company's income tax. Some things can be used to bring it down, like withholding tax, which we will get to. But everybody's expected to pay taxes as a business at the end of the year. That's why a lot of things you want to do with government now, they will ask you for annual returns. The presumption is that if you have annual returns, your tax will have been calculated. Something will have come into their coffers. That's why if you want to do a lot of things on your registered business with CAC, even if you run a partnership, even if you run a sole proprietorship, they will ask you for annual returns, because the level at which you are will determine what is charged, will determine what is expected of you, will determine what the negotiated figure will be, will determine even the penalties that you can be charged, but you will be charged something and it's prorated. Now, you have 6 months. So assuming this is 2023, this is 2022. 2022 ends and you want to pay companies income tax. Before you pay companies income tax, you get people to calculate your annual returns, to prepare your annual returns. Once they prepare your annual returns, you have 6 months to do that, right? So since you have 6 months to do that, and it's the annual returns that used to generate your taxes, so you have 6 months to prepare your annual returns, pay your taxes, and file your annual returns. And it is prorated. So some deductions are taken out. Some things can be taken out to lessen your burden. We will get there as we proceed. We will get there. And the next thing we're going to be talking about is withholding tax. So what is withholding tax? This thing used to confuse me for a very long time, believe me. Withholding tax and VAT, they confused me for a very long time. So I went to do extensive research on what they are. Now, withholding tax, oh, this thing is acting up again. Withholding tax is tax paid by the person who enjoys a service. Let me take that again. Withholding tax, is tax that is paid by a person who provides a service. So let me try and take withholding tax and VAT together. VAT is paid by the person who enjoys a service. Withholding tax is paid to the same federal government, the same federal government, by the person who provides the service. So somebody please tell me in the comment section what business you run. I will use somebody's business to explain withholding tax and VAT. Now, VAT is crystallized, is an actual sum. It is 7.5% on goods and services. Please, can somebody tell me in the comment section what your business or your service or what you sell, so that I will use that to explain withholding tax and VAT. VAT is 7.5%. It's fixed. Whatever the value is, VAT is 7.5%. And the person and the person who enjoys the service is going to pay that VAT. The person who enjoys the service is going to pay the VAT. But the person who provides the service is going to pay withholding tax. Has somebody told me what they do there? Somebody tell me what they do, and I will use it to explain to you the difference between VAT. Now, withholding tax is prorated. For individuals is an amount, for companies is a different amount. For individuals, it is between 5% and 10%. That's withholding tax. And that is withholding tax for individuals between 5% and 10%. But for companies, it is between 2.5% and 10%. But VAT is fixed. It is a simple 7.5%. So let's take publishing. Let's look at the exemptions first. First of all, publishing of educational books is not VATable. If it's strictly for educational purposes and it's not for profit, it's not VATable. and there's no withholding tax on it. Now, you that you are publishing the books, let's assume you publish novels. People bring novels to you and you publish for them. So if it's educational books for schools, is not vatable. But if it is novels for entertainment, it is vatable. So you that you run the publishing outfit, you are the service provider. You will pay withholding tax, right? The people who are buying those novels that you're publishing, they will pay VAT. They will pay 7.5%, right? You that you are providing the service of publishing. So there's the VAT on the books as goods for entertainment. There's the VAT on the service of publishing. They are two different things. So that's why I said I will use somebody's service to explain CIT and VAT. And in this category, both are vatable and both can be subjected to withholding tax. Now, here is how it's gotten. So you render publishing services for somebody who produces a novel, who writes a novel, and you render publishing services for them. You will charge them VAT. They are the ones enjoying the service, right, from you. So you give them a bill for your services, and then you put a VAT figure on it, right? Now, that figure that you put on it as VAT, you are supposed to remit it because you are the one that's collecting it. You are supposed to remit it to government as their payment of VAT for services enjoyed. However, you that you are providing the service, right? On your service charge, not on the total money with the VAT, on your service charge alone, they should make a deduction of withholding tax. You see? Now, the deduction of withholding tax that they make, ideally, they are supposed to remit it to federal government on your behalf and provide receipt of that which they have remitted for you. And when they provide those receipts for you, listen closely. You know, we've talked about companies income tax. When they produce receipts of those services for you, you will now use the proof of those receipts to bring down your taxes when it's time to pay companies income tax. Because actually, what withholding tax is advance payment of CIT. Simple. Simple. Is somebody there? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Withholding tax is just you as a business owner paying in advance companies income tax. So companies income tax at the end of a year into the succeeding year can be bulky, it can be weighty for the business to pay. But if for each service somebody had been withdrawing a small percentage as withholding tax and remitting, by the time it's time to pay companies income tax and they have proof of their withholding tax, it will be a small amount that they will have to add for their complete withholding, for their complete company's income tax in the succeeding year. So they are supposed to pay the withholding taxes 21st of every succeeding month. Just like they are supposed to pay the VAT 21st of every succeeding month. So VAT does not go to calculating your company's income tax. No, VAT, like I said, is government charging you that you are able to enjoy those services. So you want to, you can afford an entertainment novel to read. You should be able to pay government something for what you can afford. But your child is going to school, primary school, secondary school, those books, educational books for them are not vatable. So that is the funny balance of the difference. So understand that the person providing the service pays withholding tax. The person enjoying the service pays VAT. Just like the person selling the goods pays withholding tax. The person buying the goods pays VAT. And VAT is 7.5% of whatever it is. Let's go to calculator and do one let's go to calculator and calculate one Okay, let's go to calculator and calculate one. So assuming I enter a shop. Now, some things are vatable, some things are not. The list is pretty large, but what I need you to know is the basic things your life, right, can do without. The basic things that your life can do without are not vatable. Medical expenses, drugs, injections, gloves, all those things, they are not vatable. But when it begins to be cosmetic surgery, right, it's vatable. You know, you can do without cosmetic surgery. So that's why I started with the idea of government charging you because you can afford luxury, not necessity. Do you understand? So, assuming you enter a store, you enter a departmental store, and they sell educational books, they sell devotionals, they sell bread, they sell fruits, you know, all these large stores that we have these days. Assuming you enter one of them and they sell all these things. Now you buy apple, right? You will not be paid, you will not be charged VAT on the apple. But you buy bread, you will be charged VAT. Why? Because in fact there was a debate on bread at some point whether agege bread should be charged or not be charged. That's why I don't want to go into the in depth of all these things for you. It can get very, very complex. So you charge, you are charged VAT on things that you can absolutely do without. Of course, there are some things that are not, that you don't pay withholding tax on. Across the counter, buy akara now, there's no withholding tax on it. Bank transactions, there's no withholding tax on it. So there's also a list of things that there are no withholding tax on them. But I'll send you a list of the things that are not vatable goods or services. Legal services, for one, are vatable. Accounting services are vatable. So all these things is a function of the service or the goods and what's the basis of it. Okay, pizza now, pizza is vatable, even though food generally is not vatable. But pizza is said to be luxury, right? So pizza is vatable. So let's go to our calculator again. Let's assume that you enter the store and the things that you bought, you know, there are specific calculations. Everything goes to um, the tax people and the legal people to confirm the things that are vatable and the things that are not. And let's say that the things that are vatable, right, are they cost like say 15,450, right? And VAT is 7.5%, right? Then you're going to divide it by 100. So your VAT is 1,587. Your VAT is 1,587. Now, you went with a company card, assuming you went with a company, assuming you are paying with a company, maybe you want to buy to give some visitors, you have received some business partners, maybe that's what you are buying it for. So assuming you are paying with the company account, that service you are supposed to charge the shop withholding tax on it and remit for them. That is the way it is supposed to be in ideal systems. So that is the difference between VAT and withholding tax. So we've done payee, we've done companies income tax, we've done VAT, we've done withholding tax. Now we now go to, I hope this thing will connect now because I do not know why it is not connecting. Let me do that one more time. Excuse me. I wonder why the screen is not sharing what I need it to share. We now go to, so Monica, do you understand what I explained to you about publishing? Do you understand how those basic taxes work for your publishing business? I hope you understand how it works now. I know it can be a bit overwhelming for people to wonder, okay, so much on me. In one transaction, I'm paying VAT. So for every time somebody comes to do stuff for me, I'm paying tax. For every time I do stuff for somebody as a business, I'm also paying tax. I know that it can be overwhelming. But I always like to ask myself that, okay, this thing, this is one end. This is how it doesn't pay me. How can I twist this to pay me? Just like I've been asking, okay, the dollar has become a needle in a haystack now. How can I take advantage as a business person? How can I take advantage of this situation to pay me? Because believe you me, there are people who are taking advantage and it is paying them. So the active question becomes, how are they doing it? They don't have two heads. It's just about research, studying, and finding something that is in your space, because there's always something in your space that you can do. So, what are the benefits of paying your taxes? When you pay your taxes, a lot of us in Nigeria, we join the rat race. Oh, I need to make money. Oh, I have this tomorrow. Oh, I have this. We don't actually know if that business is profitable or not. We're just working. We don't know if it's profitable or it's not. We're just working. But if we knew if it was profitable or not, we will be able to have a better picture of what we can do to increase that profitability of the actual fact. Because, for example, you are working from home. Maybe for some reason you have to stop working from home. Maybe the landlord says, I can see too many people coming into your apartment. I don't want it. So go and get your office outside. And then you need to get an office outside. The active question becomes, how are you going to cope? Because you never factored in rent into what you were charging. Meanwhile, you should factor it in, no matter how small. But if you have cost to prepare annual returns, you will factor all of that in. It gives you a proper idea of what your business is worth, especially for longevity purposes, for succession purposes, for preservation, for that business to be able to survive and stand the test of time. You need to have an idea of what your business is worth, if it's making profits. You see, if it's not making profits, it's okay, at least you know where you are. But it's better than not knowing where you are. It's better than not knowing if the business is making profit or not. So one of the things that having these conversations helps you do is helps you to know where your business stands, if it's making profit or if it is not. The next thing that it helps you to do is, if you don't pay it, or if you are not where taxes are being calculated, you don't understand how it works. Now, if you don't understand how it works, it will be difficult for you to wrap your brain around how to avoid it. You see, because all these avoidance things, which I'm going to get to in a minute, is only for people who have been in it, who are either accountants or their businesses have to pay it, and so they have to apply the effort, right, of knowing what to do about it, knowing where to put it. It makes you very creative. That creativeness increases your business opportunities, increases your business profitability, right? The next thing is, when I was working with the government, the first time I had to work with the government was the first time I ever heard of do you have tax clearance? This was a long time ago anyway, almost 20 years ago. But he said, I don't have it. They said, then how do you want to get the contract? He simply walked away. Didn't even think about it a second time. And I was wondering, can't you, is there nothing you can do? And that contract was not even an emergency contract. It was a contract he could have taken his time to get. So I was wondering that, can't you do something about it? And believe me, government contracts can be juicy. You see, you don't have to do road construction contracts for us to do government contracts. Every day they are supplying them paper. Every day they are supplying them Bible. And there's no service you render that they don't award government contract for. Government is doing skill acquisition. They are awarding contract to hairdresser and bakers and interior decorators to come and train. It's contract. It's contract. And those contracts make money. But you need tax identification number. At some level, you need proof of payment of tax to be able to assess those contracts. Now, at the point at which you are paying the taxes, it looks like a liability. When those contracts come, of course, they're going to charge you VAT. If it's VATable, they're going to charge you VAT on those contracts. But the benefit at that point, you will willingly pay it because the benefits. Government contracts can be very juicy. You don't have to go into road construction or capital projects for them. Every ministry, department, or agency that we call parastatals, they all use contracts. Excuse me. They all use contracts. They all outsource their services and their goods. Very little that they do themselves. I'm asking you, why can't you be one of the people that will work with them? Even publishing, they don't publish themselves. Okay, Monica, you said you understand which one that means okay from. Yeah, it's deducted. So, like I was saying, even publishing, Federal doesn't publish themselves, even though they are supposed to have a publishing house. They outsource it. They publish receipts, they publish invoice, they print letterhead, they publish all sorts of manuals, all sorts of policy books. They are forever publishing. They publish gazettes. They are forever publishing. Who says they can't award this to you? Who says? And it is true that it is usually people they know they award it to, but I've worked there, and I can tell you that sometimes you just might be lucky to get it. And then, who says you can't know somebody there? The people who know people there, they may not have known them from years before. They just may have built a relationship with them in that same parastatal. You can build a relationship with them right in that parastatal, and you can get these benefits. Who says you can't? There's nothing that says you also can't build this relationship with them and get these benefits. Now, if you have issues, if you have any relative that has an issue with the court or with the police, and you need to go and secure bail, you might not know, but almost every bailable offense now, they ask you for 3 years tax clearance. Sometimes they will even say, okay, any level of person, but let the person have 3 years tax clearance. In fact, you can't get the court to give you bail conditions. Okay, this person is granted bail on the condition that the person bailing him must have 3 years tax clearance. Some people, let me just tell you, you see, this, Nigeria is a funny place. You see this 3 years tax clearance, right? That I'm saying they are using for bail. It has become some people's professional work. They constantly have 3 years tax clearance because somebody always needs somebody with 3 years tax clearance to do bail. It's their own work. That's what they have converted to their work that they are making money from. Just because they have tax clearance. You cannot apply for a lot of foreign grants and loans if you don't have tax clearance. They won't take you serious. Of course, they know how clumsy and how funny the Nigerian system is. But they still believe that if you are really serious about this thing you're doing, you can walk through this system to get these things out. That's what they believe. That's what they hold there. So it is the onus is on you and I who want to show the world that believes that an average Nigerian is not trustworthy. An average Nigerian is not doing anything. We're just hopping around on trees like monkeys. The onus is on you and I to show, to go the extra mile, to show that I'm actually doing this. This is what I've been doing. And you know the thing about your books of accounts and tax clearance, excuse me, because it's not produced in a day, because it's not one document, it's not one day, it's not you don't generate it at once. It shows proof of ongoing business, ongoing things. So for example, now you want to deal with, even aside from grants and loans, you want to deal with venture capitalists. If you watch something like Lions Den, and the Lions, you say you have a large business, they can ask them anything. And then they ask you, have you been paying tax? Okay, your business has been doing, have you been paying taxes? What are you going to say? You will not want to say there that you are not doing, you are not paying taxes. You don't know what will attract the Lions to you. Or you meet a venture capitalist, you meet somebody who is big enough to invest in your business because you are good at what you do and you have results. And then the person says, do you pay taxes? Because you don't know what can be the short list when there are a lot of qualified people who want something. The people who want to offer that gift begin to increase the bar so that they can reduce the amount of people they have to consider. So I want you to see taxes not from the angle of you benefiting the government. See it from the angle that, okay, these tax papers that I have, what benefits can I get from it? Aside from the fact that you are safe, I've not even said that, okay, the day the tax man comes, you have something to show. That is the list of the benefits that should come to you when you pay your taxes. There are a lot of other things that you stand to benefit when you pay your taxes. Now, if you want to enter partnership with foreign companies, a lot of foreign companies, they are bringing business to Nigeria, especially Asian companies, Chinese, they are bringing business to Nigeria. They are looking for partners. Even some European companies are still bringing business to Nigeria. The catch is that they don't want to be in Nigeria to run it. They want somebody who is going to be in this Nigeria, understand the Nigerian system, run it for them. So what are the things you are going to show them that you have been in business, that you are in business, that you are a legal business? Because they also don't want somebody who is in business but runs the risk of being shut down tomorrow. One of the things they're going to show them is proof of payment of tax. So opportunities abound when you pay your taxes. We just don't know. Opportunities for business growth abound when you pay your taxes. We just don't know. So we don't do it. All we know, all we see is that the government wants my money. Actually, the government, how can you use it to your advantage? Are you also aware that when people want to leave this japa, it's still front burner? For people who run businesses, it is easy to relocate as an employer of labor. If it's a service, you can go and run where you're going. And if you can run that service where you are going, and they ask you to gather your documents to show that you are going concern, valid going concern, one of the things you can submit for them is tax clearance, because they can verify that with the government. As much as they know the government is fraudulent, they still need things that will tie you, your business entity, your personal entity to that government. So you are not just castles in the air. One of the things you can submit to them is your tax clearance. And it gives you a good basis. They will, in fact, while everybody else is spending 2 years to process their relocation papers, as an employer of labor that you want to travel, it will be done between 4 and 6 months, because every economy is looking for people who is going to come, invest their money, and employ their people. You see? So if your business is that big and you still want to go, this gives to you. Have you seen the different perspectives to payment of taxes? Has somebody seen different perspectives to payment of taxes? Let me know in the comment section. If you are seeing your business, in the light of payment of taxes, as we have been discussing. Not just payment of taxes in the light of what the government will get from you. I'll take your questions soon if you have any. We're going to attend to just one more thing. So I said, I need you to see your business not just in the light of what the government takes from you. I need you to see it in the light of what you benefit as the government takes something from you. Because competition is getting stiffer, is getting higher. You need to start turning your eyes to places. Actually, Monica, there are so many benefits. You need to start taking your eyes to places where nobody's looking. So when people are ready to say, oh, let's look for grant, let's look for free money, you have arranged yourself. You are waiting for the free money. In fact, you can pay people who know how to look for grants to go and look for grants for you, because there are people who know how to look for grants. There are people who know how to do it, and they will find the grant for you, and you have the books ready. And all of us will be shouting, Nigeria is hard. Meanwhile, you will be cashing out from grants. Nobody will know. Nobody will know in this our Nigeria. So even though you are paying your taxes, there's something called, the first time I heard tax avoidance, I was in that was 2006. That's the first time I heard tax avoidance. And I was actually thinking of tax evasion. But tax avoidance and tax evasion are two different things. Tax avoidance and tax evasion are two different things. Tax evasion is you are running away from paying. Lucky Cassidy, I'm coming. I will get to your questions very soon. I was hoping this screen will share again. I wonder why it's refusing to share. Tax avoidance and tax evasion are two different things. Tax evasion is you are supposed to pay taxes. You are doctoring your books. You are bribing tax officials. You are refusing to pay your taxes. You are looking for very funny ways to refuse to pay your taxes. No. Tax evasion is being illegal. Tax avoidance is there are tax laws. Tax laws are created by human beings who are imperfect. And those tax laws have loopholes. We call them lacunas. Those tax laws have loopholes. They have loopholes that anybody who wants to look for a way out will tap into those loopholes. And the government can't see anything about it. That is what is called tax avoidance. The first time I heard it from Robert Kiyosaki. I've been following him, I've been reading his books. I even started reading Robert Kiyosaki before I started working with all the big names, head of parastatals that I worked with, that I saw the way their mind works and how they delay tax payments. So tax avoidance is legal. The tax officials see it, they know it. There's just nothing they can do about it, because that is like the Achilles heels of the law. Is the Achilles heels of the law, and they can't query it, because of course they're forever tax regulations. The reason why I can't give you so much in depth, right, is that they evolve by the day. By the day, they are forever evolving, because they're trying to close all the loopholes. But the loopholes don't close just like that. Yes, so Joseph, the loopholes don't close just like that. As you are closing one loophole, another one is opening. That's why I mentioned the issue of bread when it comes to VAT. In fact, I saw a place where they were discussing agege bread versus sliced bread, talking about VAT, because they're also conscious of the fact that they don't want a revolt, but then they want the rich to keep paying. So I'm going to be discussing with you, I'm going to be sharing with you some creative ways that you can avoid taxes. Very legal, very, very legal ways that you can avoid taxes. The first of them is to give to registered charities. I said registered charities. I didn't say non-registered charities. Please note that if you classify your giving as tithe, it will be taxed. If you classify your giving as tithe, it will be taxed. You cannot afford to classify it as tight, but there are ways that it could be written into your books and you will not be taxed. So giving to registered charities, because charities are not taxable, and that one too, there's a classification for it. There are certain things charities will do that will be taxed, but that's outside the scope of this conversation. But donating to NGOs for public good and such causes is not taxable. So there are ways to route your money through that means that you will avoid some taxes, and there's nothing the taxman can do about you. The next is to invest in agricultural businesses. I saw organic agriculture. I saw Lucky organic agriculture. I knew somebody was going to go there. Now, two things that the government always tries to encourage, and so taxes in that region are either very minimal or non-existent. Agriculture, especially agricultural production, organic agriculture. There are a lot of tax reliefs, a lot of rebates in that space because the government wants to encourage it. The other place where, in fact, you will just be, if you can survive in that space, you will just be cashing out is if you can produce for export. The tax, my people, no be here. No be here. The tax relief for exportation, if you can produce for export, the tax relief there is fantastic. There's a lot of tax relief. Even if what is something that exists in the foreign country, the fact that it's produced here and is exported, it makes you the friend of the government because it actually boosts the value of the naira. So you get tax reliefs. Now, another thing you can do to help your tax account is, you see, when we do transfers, Nigeria is a heavily cashless economy. Excuse me. We do a lot of transfers. We do a lot of transfers. A lot of transfer. We are heavily cashless because we're encouraged to do like that. If you withdraw money, they charge you. If you pay in too much cash, they charge you. So we're heavily cashless. A lot of that money is taxed because we don't label our transfers properly. So you are paying hospital bill and you are writing gifts, they will tax it. They will tax it too. So you are paying for secondary school fees and you are labeling it excursion, they will tax it. They will tax it. You need to label your transfers accurately. Let me tell you why. So the taxman shows up and says, hey, this amount of money has moved through your company. We have your bank statement. This amount of money has moved through in the last 1 year. This is the tax we're going to charge you. Will now be gotten, right, and be reviewed transaction by transaction to see what is taxable and what is not. That's why I cannot give you a blanket figure on what your tax will be. That's your company's income tax, because a lot of things are not taxable. Just like you won't pay withholding tax on hospital services for essential life-saving services. I didn't say liposuction, and I didn't say I'm transmitting on YouTube, so let me be careful what I say. I didn't say some things, some kind of cosmetic surgery. Let me leave it like that. Yes, those will be vatable, and you pay withholding tax on all of those. But for essential health services, you won't pay taxes. But then you label it gift, you'll be taxed. So you need to label your transfers accurately. If somebody is sending money to you, to have them label it accurately. We take everybody, this issue of transfer, everybody should take it seriously. In fact, as an aside for you to know, EFCC can visit you just because of the person that transfers money to you. They will visit you. The person will not know they were following him. The money will end up in your account. You just receive visit. And the money got to your account with gift. You will not begin to explain how the money is not a gift. So have your transfers received and sent with the right label is essential for tax purposes. Another thing is try and keep your receipts. You see, please, the place that you are piling those receipts, it doesn't eat now. Are you paying to pile the receipts somewhere? Are you paying? Or the Google Drive, the G Drive that you are storing your soft copies, you still have 2 gig. If the 2 gig expires, open another account or pay for 15 gig and be dumping all your soft copy there. Because at some point you can be required. Meanwhile, when some tax authorities come to query you and then they ask you for proof, when you show them the bundle of the proof, my people, they will calm down, know that yes, this person knows what he's talking about. But if you don't have receipts, if your transfers are wrongly labeled, how do you want to prove that the taxation that you are being charged is double taxation? How do you want to prove? There's no way to prove it. There's no way to prove it. The last thing I'm going to mention is that you should monitor your brackets. If you listened, at the beginning, you know, I've kept saying that tax is prorated, tax is prorated, tax is prorated. No, let me remove this thing. Tax is prorated, tax is prorated. I started by saying payee is prorated. The more you earn, the more you pay. So hear this. You are paying 7% on 300,000. That's your salary. Your employer now says, okay, you've done well. They're going to increase your salary in January, and they are increasing it by 75,000. So you enter the next tax bracket. So for the first bracket, you are going to pay 7%. But because of that 75,000, you are going to be charged 11%. Does it make sense? The tax bracket that will make sense for you to be charged in is when you are at the upper end. If that tax bracket is, say, 215,000 extra on top of your 300,000, that 11% tax you're going to be charged for the second bracket will be worth it. But if the increase is 75,000 or 100K, and then you're going to be charged 11% on top of it, sometimes depends on some calculations after deductions are made. By the time you enter another tax bracket, right, and then you are feeling happy that you've entered another tax bracket, and you are now charged, your tax is now calculated. If you are not careful, your take home, I'm talking payee now, your take home with the increase will be less than your take home before the increase because of tax bracket. Same goes for CIT. Same goes for payee, CIT, and WHT, withholding tax, essentially, because CIT and WHT, like I've explained, are family members. So monitor your tax brackets. Monitor your tax brackets. So you need to keep an eye on your books. You need to keep an eye on your documents, on your numbers. Anybody who wants to do business and who's not willing to do the numbers is not willing to do business. Don't bother wasting your time or wasting anybody's time. Okay? Do we get that? 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 Okay. So, your question about organic agriculture, I've answered it, right? I've talked about agriculture. It's one of the juicy areas. It's very, and you know, agriculture is not just plants. It's not just forest like we have issues with. Agriculture includes animal husbandry and all those things. They are all in the space of agriculture. They are all in the space of agriculture, animal husbandry and all of that. all within the space of agriculture. So you said, I have a registered enterprise that is business name. How do I become compliant from 2023? Of course, as a registered enterprise, your taxes, because you are not a separate entity from your business, so your taxes will be paid. Of course, I imagine that maybe you are working alone or you're working with one or two people. The tax of the business will be paid through your taxes, but the company will still file annual returns. So you need to, what you can begin to do from tomorrow to help yourself is these things I've talked about: monitoring your receipts, labeling your transfers properly. Those two things, start doing them from tomorrow, from this very tomorrow. Be conscious of them. When somebody wants to send you money, even if they say want to send you money to give to somebody, tell them, okay, please label it accurately. Somebody wants to send me money, they say they want an account in social bank. Do you have an account in that bank? Tell them to label it accurately, because the money passing through your account is liable to tax. Tax authorities don't follow you to know that you're only receiving agent for somebody, because your object of business does not say you are receiving agent. Can you see? So have people label their taxes properly. Have them label their taxes properly. And then you need to prepare your annual returns. Lucky, you need to prepare annual returns if you want to be compliant as a business. But I think what you should even start with is begin to pay your personal income taxes. Okay, so that is the end of the class. Let me know, did I keep my promise? Did I do what I said I will do? Is there any portion I said I was going to discuss that I have left out? Has it been worth your time? Let me know in the comment section. Did I comply with what I said I was going to do? Of these three, lawyer, I'll get to questions. I'm coming to take your questions. I just want to confirm first that I have not left any ground uncovered. Please confirm for me that I have not left any ground uncovered, as per everything I said I was going to explain for you. Have I left any ground uncovered? I will come to your question. Yes, I will come to your question. I will take your questions. I will take your questions. But please help me confirm that. Is there any portion of what I said I was going to take that I've not taken? Has this questions, has it been worth your time so far? Has it been worth your time so far? So, lawyer, accountant, and financial planner. The first person that comes, the first person is why is this network acting up? Okay. Okay, first thing I want to say before I go into the questions is the advice I've given here is basic general advice. For you to take any steps, you will still need to seek further professional advice. What I came here to give you is general advice. If you will require to take steps, of course, you will need more detailed professional advice on how to proceed. You will need more professional advice on how to proceed. So that's taken. You said, Lucky said that lawyer, accountant, and financial planner, who comes first? The business owner comes first. Here is why. Here is why. Where is that business? Where is the business? At what stage is the business? At what level is the business? What is the business poised to do next? Will determine what you are going to do next. Which stage is the business now? Sometimes you may need to take on the three of them at the same time. But at what stage is the business? It's not about the professionals, it's about the business owner. Where is that business in your head now? On paper now, where's the business? And where's the business going from here? What's the next move? What's the next step? It's not just about amassing professionals. Professionals are not cheap. What is the next move? What is the next step that you want to take? Will determine who the next person is. Do you want to take a loan? Why do you want to take a loan? Do you understand? Do you want to open more offices? Why do you want to open more offices? Do you want to get into partnership? Why do you want to get into partnership? So that's why I said the first thing is the business owner. Where does the business owner stand as per that business to determine the next thing and the next person? The business owner is the idea behind any professional. No professional comes before the business owner. So that's for Lucky Cassidy. Joseph Person says, Barrister Aniola, what about the tax law? Please correct my naming if wrong. That stated that a business with a turnover less than no is not liable to companies' income tax because 25 million to 100 million pay 20% tax. 100 million and above pay 30% tax. If you are below 25 million, you are charged on a different set of ratings. You are charged, some indices of your business will be considered, right? Some indices of your business will be considered, right? The deductibles, which is why I went to tax avoidance. The deductibles on your business will be considered, right? Then the length of life of your business will be considered. Do you understand? So these things are the things that will be used to determine how much you are going to pay under 25 million. But if your business has profit of 25 million and above, you will pay them 20% to flat rate. No story. So I didn't say you are not going to pay tax. No, I never said that. Hey, now what for you? Market for myself. You just register enterprise, market woman. You will pay something. It just might be small, but you will pay something. That's why I said that. I started by saying the government charges you. Your tax is the government charging you for the level that you have been able to grow your business to attain. That's it. They believe that if you can make between 25 and 100 million, they are not even telling you, just give them 20%. Easy. But if you are less than that, okay, you are still working on some things, you are not as so okay. How long has the business been running? What is the business doing? Industry the business is in, deductibles, they consider all of that. And they even say that there are different laws, don't let me confuse you. But all these factors come together to determine what your tax liability will be. And it will also be after your annual returns have been prepared that your tax will be determined. Because sometimes you will think you are making profits and you are not. That's why I said is your business profitable. And it's your profit and loss account that will let you know if your business is profitable. It's not what you think in your head, though. Hey, my people. Profit and loss account is a different story entirely. It's not what you think in your head. It's what the books say that will determine if your business is profitable or not. It is your books that will determine it. So that is for Joseph Essen. Okay, thank you, Lucky Cassidy. It says, yes, very well done. Kudos to you. Thank you. Does anybody else have a question? Have I fulfilled my promise to you? Have I made good on what I promised you that I was going to give to you this evening. I hope I have not wasted your time. Please tell me in the comment section. That is the only payment that I desire, that you please let me know if what you have heard here has added to you in any way. If I've given you anything you can begin to do tomorrow, if I've helped you in your mind in any way concerning the growth and well-being of your business, please let me know in the comment section if this has been worth your time, if you have learned something, if I have made good on my promise. Please let me know in the comment section. Please let me know. So, assuming, I understand that a lot of us are wondering, okay, how do I know where my business is? Where does my business stand? Where do I go from here? Which do I pay first? What's the status of my business? How do I make my business profitable? Because profitability is what rings in our ears. Profitability is what rings in our ears. Okay, how do I begin to take advantage of all these profitable opportunities? You understand? Which of them? I'm not an agri company. Can I add any of this? Do you understand? How do I begin to put my books in order? Right? So I'll be willing and that's why I'm willing to give you a 1 hour strategy. And that's why new comment. Oh, the replay will be sent. Did you register? Joseph SN, did you register? If you registered, you will get a link to the replay. Joseph SN. Then Monica, please repeat your question. Monica, please repeat your question. Please repeat your question, Monica. Monica, please repeat your question. Okay, you said, what does an owner of a registered business name do when there have been no income but only expense? How do you know? You file minimum tax. There's something you file, a minimum amount. But you see, you can't determine that of yourself. There are ways to play around that to make it there are ways to play around the minimum filing, the minimum amount. You file a minimum amount. Monica, that's your question. And besides, are you sure it's only expense? Because you are not the one. Do you have books of account prepared? If you don't have books of account prepared, you cannot prove. Do you have bank statement? What does it say? Do you understand? So those are some of the things that we will be asking you in the process of preparing the annual returns, in the process of advising you on what to file. So those are some of the things that we're going to be asking. But then you file a minimum statement. Okay, you came in late. Like I said, that the replay is going to be available if you registered. What does the annual return filing? Okay, I don't get this. Lucky Cassidy, what does the annual return filing you? A blessing indeed. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow. Joseph said, I registered a business name since April 2013, but yet to start a business with the company. Okay, and you've not started now. You've not started. And they will need proof that you've not started. Ordinarily, that is not going to be acceptable. Ordinarily, that's not going to be acceptable. But then there are ways to show that you haven't been doing anything, as long as you have not done anything with it. You understand? Because there are going to be queries the day you want to do. Do you have tax identification number? That's even the first thing you need to get. Okay, I didn't register. Someone just shared it. Really interesting. Where did you? Okay, maybe the person saw it on Facebook. I was wondering, Joseph. I was wondering, and you joined. They sent you the link. They sent you the link to attend this, or they sent you the link to register. I think it's in your best interest to register. Let me look for the link and post the link here so that if you're not registered, you can go register for it. I believe the link will still be active. Let me look for the link. Let me look for the link for you. Um, just give me a minute or two. Fish out the link for you. Where's this link now? Okay, here's the link. Let me just copy link and then share the link with you. So Joseph, please register there. Try and register this evening. So you would get oh, how do I close this line? I need to close this. I need to close this. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so that's the link to register. I see. Incidentally, I don't know if the person is here, but that's the link to register. So you might want to register there so you get the link to the replay. And I also shared I shared a PDF, non-taxable, people who are not liable to pay payee. I'm also going to share another PDF of non-vatable goods and services. Maybe you might want to study it. It might interest you one way or the other. You cannot get that if you don't register. So you will need to register. Now, so here's what I want to do. For you, we approach 2023. I want to hold your hand as we approach 2023. You don't have team. So those are part of the things we will do for you. But you see, let's understand, let's have a mental picture of where your business is. Where's your business now? Where is it going? What's your plan for the business? You see, businesses don't grow coincidentally. Oh. I've worked with some big shows. They don't grow coincidentally. They grow by a clear picture and hard work, not just hard work. No, 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 no. Businesses don't grow like that. They grow by hard work, but they go by clear picture. This is what I want to do for you, right? I want to have a 1-hour strategy session with you, right? I will answer your legal business questions and we'll discuss the structure of your company and where that structure is right now. The, excuse me, realistic explanation of where that structure is right now. I will ask you 6 questions, very precise questions as a business owner that will help you determine where your business is and your business goals to grow that company in 2023. You see, paying taxes, as we have seen, is a step towards business growth. But paying taxes will cost you money, right? So let's factor it in accurately, right? So we're also going to design for you, once we have outlined the goals and determined what they are, I would outline for you a vision sheet that will be your confession sheet you push on a vision board. You put it somewhere where you can see it every day. This is what you are working on. You see, it guides everything. It guides where you go. That vision board and that confession sheet that you'll be taking every day. It guides where you go. It guides what you do. It guides what you don't do. It guides what you spend your money on. It guides what you think about. Because, see, people made foolish money during COVID. Stupid money. Yes, I had, like I said at the beginning, I helped my clients. I've helped my clients stabilize their business, over 100 clients. But you see, I also had some clients who didn't lose money, didn't have to beg, didn't have issues during COVID. But I also know some people that made stupid money during COVID. What am I getting at? You see, as we are complaining about this Nigeria, forget it, some people are cashing out, and they are not all politicians. Okay, the people that are making what the politicians are wearing, it's Taylor that is making it. Somebody's getting the contract, and tailors are sewing it. It's Taylor. It's not people who went to some fantastic school. What am I getting at? You don't have to be somewhere up there to cash out in any system. No, you just need to sit down and do the work and stop the hula baloo running around. So when we design for you a daily business confession for your vision board that you will look at, that you will confess, that will affect your mind, will help you identify the growth opportunities for your business. Every business has independent growth opportunities. Like I said, businesses don't grow by coincidence. They grow by intentional action. We help you know which tax service is best for you. Along this tax journey, where are you? What is the next thing you need to do? I've told you the first thing you need to start doing. Monitor your transfers and take all your receipts. Store them somewhere. Have hard copy, soft copy. Store them somewhere. Where are you in this tax journey? What's the next thing for you to do after that? Now, aside from all of this, you will get into my personal Facebook group, right? In that Facebook group, I share in depth what I don't share in other places. Oh, I see. I see. I share in depth there what I don't share in other places. The people in my personal paid Facebook group, right? They get a discount a lot of times when I have things that go out, and they get first information. Like if I have something, 10 offers, the people in the Facebook group get right of first refusal. I want to do a 1 hour strategy session with you for that business for 2023. Ordinarily, my 1 hour legal counseling alone is first hour 20,000, subsequent hours 15,000 prorated. But I'm ready to give 10 people at 5,000 within the next 24 hours. Just 10 people at 5,000 because it's a lot of work for small money. So I cannot do it for too long. 10 people for the next 24 hours. Somebody says, I cannot answer all the questions here. We've done almost 2 hours. Business current account is the preferred account and not savings. Depends on what you are doing. It depends. Business current account is good, but you know that there's COT on business current account. So I'm not saying business current account is not good. I'm just saying it depends on what you are doing. Tax and education number is gotten from where? From FIRS, from their office. You could decide to do it yourself if you know how to go about it, and we could do it for you. So, thank you, Lucky says I'm the Bob. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think I need to screenshot this. I'm glad to hear that. So you can decide that you want to grow it. How are you going to grow it? Now, if you tax, once you bring the eyes of the tax authorities into your business, they will never go again. They have not seen us now because we are the small people and we're on the lower end of the journey, right? We are not making, once you, if you make 100 million tomorrow, they will visit you the very next day. Forget it. But we are too many on the lower end for them to visit us. But once we bring them in to say, okay, this is this, they won't go again. So I need you to be properly positioned, business-wise, money-wise, profit-wise, before you enter that space. Otherwise, you begin to work for them. They don't work for you again, and they should work for you. So you need to put your strategy right before you enter that space. And that's why I'm offering you the strategy session for 1 hour. It's going to be over video, and it's going to be for 1 hour. You're going to be able to choose the day and time that best suits you for that. And if you feel this is what your business needs right now, because I know a lot of businesses need this at this time as we plan to enter a new year, as we are rounding up, as people are trying to wonder what next to do. One thing I know that is next to do, right? It is time to make money. If there's anything that I know that it is time to do, my people, it is time to make money. Or doesn't anybody agree with me that it is time to make money? Doesn't anybody agree with me that it's time to make money? Let me know. So, if this is something you think your business will need, I would send you the link. You can pay to the link and then you book your 1 hour session. And then we have the conversation. I discussed those 7 things that I will get back to you in a minute, but let me give you the link. There are plenty of opportunities around you that you never knew. Wow, this is interesting. Put on this one. Okay, please put on the gem. There are plenty of opportunities that you never knew existed. Wow. Okay, so let me get the link. I need to prepare to shut down. Let me just get the link and share the link with you. It has been an event. It has been an event for almost 2 hours. Wow, almost 2 hours. I hope it has been eventful for you as it has been for me. I hope it has been eventful for you as it has been for me. Oh my goodness. Let me do this on my phone so I save everybody's time. Oh, thank you for joining the class. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for your time. Like I said, this is to open your eyes. This is to open your eyes to the things that you need to do to make your 2023 worth your time, worth your every effort. So you're not running around for the whole world. But if you are going to make the kind of money you want to make, if you are going to make the kind of money you want to make, then you are going to if you're going to make the kind of money you want to make, then you're going to have to take the kind of steps you've never taken before. I hope you understand what I'm saying. If you're going to take the kind of steps you've never taken before, you need to plan those steps. You don't just get up and run into the world. You need to plan those steps. So let me read to you again a list of the things I'm going to do for you. I'm going to answer your legal business questions, such as the structure of your company, the registration details, If there's anything you need to do to make that better, we'll resolve it. I'll ask you 6 questions to set your business on the growth path. 6 very specific questions, specific answers. With specific answers, we design for you daily business confessions and a vision for your vision board. You look at it every day, you say it every day to yourself. It determines what you do, it determines where you go, it determines your business choices, it determines offers you will take, it determines offers you won't take, because your business is on a path. To help you identify growth opportunities for your business. Believe me, there are a lot of growth opportunities, even as we talk. In this very Nigeria, there are a lot of growth opportunities. And it's for people who are willing to do the work. If you're not willing to do the work, don't bother. But if you're willing to do the work, let's have this conversation. Let's chat it down. Let's write it down. Then I create the confessions for you. Then you take it. Taking confessions and visualizing your visions every day is not small work. And it will help you know the tax service that is best suited for you. The tax structure that is best suited for you. Where on this tax journey are you? What should you do first? Like I said, if you bring the eyes of the tax authorities into your business when you are not ready for them, they won't go again. No. They are there with you till Jesus comes. They are there with you till Jesus comes. They won't go again. So before you bring them in, if you've never brought them in, do the groundwork and put your thoughts together. Begin the journey. So as you are following the tax people on one part, you are growing your business on the other part. And I have spaces for just 10 people for the next 24 hours. Because if this is ordinarily what I'll do at 20,000 per hour, but I'll do it at 5,000. At 5,000. For these people who have taken the time to come to class, it means you have plans for your business. People don't want to talk tax. If you are willing to talk tax, you are willing to do the job. So I'm willing to spare this time and give you this 1 hour at just 5,000 naira. The link to register is in the comment section. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, you made my day to read these your comments. You really, really made my day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, in the absence of any other questions, this offer is valid for 24 hours, 10 people, for just 10 people. Like I said, the replay will be sent to you. If you have not registered, please register through the link, the first link, so you get the replay. So you get the PDF also of businesses that are vatable, services and goods that are vatable according to the listing of federal government, and goods too that are vatable according to that same list. If you don't register, you may not be able to get that PDF. And then if you really want us to go on this growth journey, planning it, structuring it, so that at the end of 2023, when people are shouting any currency, you just be following them to smile and saying, Nigeria hard. The people that are saying Nigeria is hard today, they don't know Nigeria is hard, but they are shouting with you and me so that you will not ask them how far, so that you will not ask them to give you money. Right? So thank you for your time. In the absence of any other questions, I think it's time to take my leave. I've done 1 hour 45 minutes. I said I was going to do 1 hour. Oh, thank you, Monica. Thank you, Monica. I'm glad it was enlightening for you. That can be very complex. People don't like to have the conversation, but we have to, and there are benefits to it. So, government wants my money, no problem now. I will give them the money, but I will get it back in multiple fold. As they are collecting and making more. Maybe if you get to enter my Facebook group, I will tell you some stories of the days when I was working for some heads of parastatals and some big shots in Nigeria, and some things they did to avoid taxes. It's not a conversation for today, but it's time to go home. Thank you, everybody, once again. Expect your replays in the next 1 or 2 days. Do take care and have a good night. Bye bye.